out there who have all sorts of hobbies, and all sorts of lifestyles, and all sorts of jobs. Flying today can be seen as just another form of transport, but sometimes using specialist flying machines in difficult conditions requires people with an exceptional set of skills.
And that's where the difficulty comes in.
And not a little attitude.
I'm not a 9-to-5 kind of guy.
But they also need the determination to go that one step further, especially if they're with film guys who are always looking to get that extra shot or that extra angle. And those guys can be pushy. After all, you don't get a second chance to get that shot. Talking with helicopter pilots all over the world, I'm constantly amazed by their coolness and professionalism. You've just got to give it to them. The helicopter is an amazing flying machine. Whenever a heli starts, with that distinctive whine and whistle of the turbines, there's an immediate rush of adrenaline. Something special is going to happen. Something that defies the usual laws of gravity and flight. These days we have got used to high-octane film chases, luxury location shots and action sequences on our screens. But how do these aerial images come together? And who are the people who make them happen? We take a look at some of the guys and girls who operate helis and others who fly, film and photograph from these incredible machines.
I'm not a 9-to-5 kind of guy.
It's a complex aircraft to build and to operate. The maintenance of these machines is meticulous and has to follow rigorous schedules and safety regulations. There is no room for failure. For the companies involved in producing and selling helicopters, it's a long sales cycle, with a lot of investment from all parties. Sometimes they need to make a bit of an impression. In the rarefied atmosphere of the Principality of Monaco, the residents demand that the busy heliport is kept just outside the city limits. Apart from medical evacuations, helis are not allowed to operate in the main harbour, except on this occasion. Augusta Helicopters and Aero Toy Store arranged to land their new Augusta Westland helicopter on the roof of the Hermitage Hotel during the Monaco Yacht Show. Quite an entrance.
We're looking to sort of change the perception of single-engine helicopters to twin-engine Augusta products, and Augusta has the largest market share of the twin-engine helicopter. A helicopter is a tool that you can sort of fix to a yacht. So where the yacht would travel to a location and you would meet it on your aircraft, the helicopter can pop off, pick you up, continue towards the yacht, put you on board, go out to sea, and if you have some sort of issue where you need to get back to land and you're in the middle of the ocean, you can jump back on the helicopter, get off the boat, get to land where your aircraft is waiting or moved to at that point, and go do what you have to do.
This was followed later in the day by a fashion show outside the Hotel de Paris with another Augusta model and an impressive party. Sales techniques seem to work, as the following year we filmed the company handing over and signing off their latest model to a prestigious client.
You really need to find the ease of transport. So your aircraft landing on the ground and your helicopter waiting to take you to your boat where you never even see a traffic sign is fantastic.
In the magnificent scenery of the Kootenays in British Columbia, Canada, these guys are planning a high-altitude research expedition in the Selkirk Mountains. They need high-terrain helicopters to meet them halfway up the mountain. The guys carry extra fuel so that the heli can take them the last few thousand feet where the truck cannot go. Flying a heli at these kind of altitudes is demanding, to say the least. It may be warm here, but further up, the glacier is still king of the mountain. Tyler Carey talks us through some of the things he has to do as chief pilot for high-terrain helicopters.
We're working out of the base here within a 100-mile radius. We're doing avalanche patrol, we're doing avalanche bombing, we're doing search and rescue missions, we're doing silviculture support, forestry support. I'm not a guy that likes to sit behind a desk and a computer and take orders from somebody and push pencils and stuff. Yeah, it's a variety of work. You come to work in the morning and you never know where you're going to go or what you're going to do. Sometimes a big storm will come through, power lines will go down, then the utility companies call us for an emergency flight to go and check the power lines to find out which one's been damaged with a tree falling on the line or something like that. We provide service for the backcountry ski lodges. These people here have left their job. They show up here and they're expecting to go out, say, Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to the lodge. The only way in there is helicopter. They have a short window to go and play in the wintertime. They show up, and if the weather's great, it's the most magnificent, most pleasant experience you can get. But when the weather's crappy and you have to wait and then you try, and if you don't try, they think that you're a wimp. But when you do try, you get into those situations where, do I continue, do I turn around? Do I continue, do I turn around? And that's where the difficulty comes in.
Everything from fighting forest fires to dropping off mountain bikers and snowboarders is what bush pilots and their machines do. Filming and photography requires special skills from the film guys and the pilots. Myself, I'm quite lucky. If I see snow on my heli shoots, then I'm a few thousand miles offline. I work a lot in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, filming some of the largest yachts in the world. I shoot video for promotional work and documentaries like these. So for a lot of my job, I use one of these things, helicopter. Can't do the job without it. And I also can't do the job without the guy who sits in this seat, the pilot. We spend our time with these guys and we trust them. And we trust that they can do what we ask them. If they can't do it, and if the machine isn't up to it, that's their call. We'll push as hard as we can to get that shot. That's what we want, that's what our clients pay us for. But if the pilot says no, then we have to say no.
Okay, back off, back off, back off. Let's go around again, go around again. Don't push it, reset. Tell them what we're doing.
Usually this is where I'll be sitting, next to the pilot, in the front, to get a good view of what's coming up, a good view of the surrounding, and a good eye for the general production of the film.
We want to be over there, left over there, about 11 o'clock. Okay, you got me?
I often fly with a stills shooter, such as my son Sam Fitzgerald, or Sean McCutcheon, sometimes Stefan Brevan, occasionally my girlfriend Rebecca Darcy, or my old pal Jim Raycroft. Jim's been in the business of stills shooting for years, and we have flown more than our share of joint video and still shoots.
We'll have to go and sit and wait for these guys to get set up. So there's a lot of waiting, but then when the right conditions are there, you got to be ready to take it.
Okay, Jim, you good? You ready? You looked in? All good now? All good. Boat's ready on location, so let's get ourselves there. Come on, let's get a move on. We've only got 2 hours left of this. Do you have a visual on the boat?
Here we've got the doors actually fastened on, but normally we take the doors off. It also gives me great access to be able to lean out of the helicopter at the side. Filming inside a helicopter can get pretty intense. You've got the noise of the machine, you communicate through these things here, the headphones and the microphone, and that's your communication to the pilot and to the other guys working with you.
This is your FM radio. This is the control board that controls the left side passenger, right side pilot.
It's also pretty difficult to communicate with the ground. That's why we use things like shortwave radios and even cell phones.
We don't yet have a visual on you. Should I be with you in 2 minutes? Televideo on this Kahalani. We are approximately 2 clicks south of the Ile de Léron, south of Cannes, heading south. Over.
Or even hand signals.
These guys don't have a clue. Can we get organised, please? It's just a mess down there. It's a bloody mess. Get organised.
Inside an operational helicopter, things can get very, very tense. We have 2 or 3 photographers, film guys, all wanting to get the best shots, and they're all pushing and pulling, and the pilot is trying to make the best decision for the safety of the helicopter, for the safety of its occupants, but he also wants to get the best shot. Safety is of course very important to us. It's basically what keeps us alive, but sometimes we take a bit of a risk. You'll actually find us standing on the step outside of the heli, leaning over it again so we can get that right angle without getting the rest of the plane into the shot. But most of the time, we're well covered by somebody either holding on to us or we've got a strap. Honest. Some of the times we get so low, we feel as though we can get our feet wet. Some of the guys will get the heli almost sitting on the wave tops and going sideways at 14 knots with the spray blowing out from the heli. The bottom of a helicopter is safe. Just the way it moves with the centripetal force keeps everything locked onto the bottom of the heli so that when you're in a tight turn, it doesn't fall out that way. Unless he slows right down. If he slows, then everything falls out.
So next time you see a fancy picture or film with an action sequence or beautiful location, think about where the shot was taken from and who was behind it.